The introduction of the Legion of Doom this season opened up several new worlds of possibilities for stories, such as today's.
Individually, we have failed to stop the Super Friends. Only by combining our forces will we be assured to put an end to them, an outcome for which Brainiac has devised a perfect plan.
Precisely, Luthor. My flawless computerized mind has devised a brilliant scheme that will rid us of the Super Friends and have the world paying us for doing it. At this very moment, Wonder Woman, Hawkman, and Black Vulcan are helping to repair one of NASA's orbiting space stations.
He's made a cloaking ray that will make it look as though the Earth has disappeared when they get ready to go home.
And after that's accomplished, my phony distress message will lead them deep into space and to my sinister planet of toy traps.
At the same time, the Riddler has a plan that will keep the rest of the Super Friends chasing all the wrong things.
Great Hera, look!
The Earth, it's gone.
That's impossible. How could an entire planet just disappear?
I don't know, but we've got to try to contact the other Super Friends. Wonder Woman to Hall of Justice. Can you read me?
Wonder Woman, I can barely read you.
It's Superman.
Earth in Sector 721. Need help. Must get...
Those super fools are falling right into my trap.
That sector he mentioned is millions upon millions of miles out in space. It's a good thing the Super Friends can all travel faster than light, or we'd be sitting here waiting for the next scene for about 35,000 years.
I don't understand. This is where the distress call came from.
And there's no sign of the Earth or Superman.
Hold it. Do you feel that strange pulling?
Yes, we're falling into that area of black space.
Great Hera, it's a black hole.
The gravity's incredible. There's no way to pull free.
That's not a black hole. A year after this, Disney would show us what a black hole really looks like. And finally, this year, 2024, we got an actual image of a black hole. And you know something? Disney wasn't too far off. Our heroes are sucked into the black hole. For some reason, they aren't reduced to the size of walnuts and find themselves landing on a planet in the center of the hole. The overall gravity well is still too strong for them to escape.
I suggest we take a tour of this planet and find out what's happening. Come on.
Those three super kids won't exactly have fun when they play with the toys on this remote-controlled artificial planet.
He has the resources to build himself an artificial planet in the middle of a black hole. Remember that little fact for later. The three come to an apparently deserted city.
Great lightning! What's that?
It looks like a giant pinball.
Give yourself a gold star, Hawkman. That's what it is. This isn't a city. It's an oversized pinball table.
Wonder Woman in the hole. I get 1,000 points and a free ball.
We've got to help Wonder Woman.
Wait, look! Wonder Woman's inside that pinball.
With apologies to you too, welcome to Vertigo. If that was me in there, within 10 seconds the entire inside of the ball would be covered with whatever I had for lunch. We watch her go through a bunch of bumpers and such while Toyman racks up points. But wait, pinball tables also have flippers. He can't forget that.
This may be just the brick we need to get out of here.
And speaking as someone who used to play pinball machines obsessively, the flippers don't always work to your advantage. He just discovered that. Back at the Hall of Justice, the others have noticed that their friends are overdue to return, and the guys on the space station say they left hours ago. Where are they?
Attention, super fools!
The Riddler.
Right, Batman! And I'll bet you're wondering where your three friends are.
I might have known you and the Legion of Doom would be behind this.
Brilliant deduction.
Never mind the games, Riddler. Where are they?
You'll have to figure that out for yourselves. And here's your first riddle clue. 1,000,000 years ago, it was just a trickle. And if you don't hurry, your friends won't be worth one plugged nickel.
Well then, we're talking about a river that started out small and grew big. There's only dozens of those in the world, so this should be easy.
That's it. 1,000,000 years ago, it was a trickling stream. But now it's the Grand Canyon.
Good thinking, Batman. I'll plug it into the Justice League computer and see what we come up with.
The Grand Canyon isn't a river. It's a canyon carved by a river, specifically the Colorado River. I'll let that pass. The computer tells them there's an abandoned nickel mine down at the bottom. That completes the riddle, and they're off to see what's there. I couldn't find any information about nickel mining in the Grand Canyon. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, several mining ventures got set up in the canyon, but they weren't mining nickel. They were after some of the richest copper deposits on the planet. While these various enterprises were digging copper, they kept running into this weird black rock that was always in the way. Around 1951, a few years into the atomic age, somebody realized those rocks were almost pure uranium. That became the main product to come from the Grand Canyon mines, and we kept extracting both uranium and copper from down there until 1987, when mining in the canyon was outlawed. I've been to the Grand Canyon many times, and I've visited some massive copper mines and such. Preserve the canyon. Get our copper somewhere else. Uranium mining actually stopped in the 60s when the price dropped into the cellar and it became too expensive to transport it. There are times when the world just tells us to sit down and shut up while it fixes itself from all the dumb stuff we do to it.
We've got those super freaks right where we want them.
Now we'll seal them into the Grand Canyon in a grand manner.
That isn't just sealing the entrance, it's causing a cave-in down in the shaft. Superman is holding a large beam up, and that's the only thing preventing total collapse.
Now to slow those super friends down even more.
As Black Manta releases millions of tons of water into the canyon, the Super Friends are unaware that the deadly tidal wave is rapidly headed toward their unprotected mine shaft.
I assume that's supposed to be the Glen Canyon Dam, the one that forms Lake Powell. It sort of looks like that picture, but it doesn't have those big spillway vents in the middle of it, so there's no way he could do this and wipe out thousands of people and property just to get the Super Friends wet.
Great Scott! The shaft's flooding. My power ring should get us out of here.
Yes, let's go.
He didn't do that when the cave-in started because Green Lantern is consistently slow on the uptake. Once they're all out, Superman lets the beam go and flies out, and everybody's okay. And the Grand Canyon has a new tourist attraction, the Grand Canyon Geyser. Everybody wins, except the Legion of Doom, and that's okay.
If you think that was tough, then tighten your belt and find your next clue before you all melt.
The Riddler's clues are getting harder, and we're losing time.
At least he never lies with his clues. If we can figure them out, we'll find the others. Wait a minute. The Riddler said, tighten your belt. But there's another spelling of the word titan. Titan. It means a giant. And who's got the most gigantic belt in the galaxy?
Holy constellations, Batman, of course. It's Orion's belt.
And the part about melting must have something to do with the constellation's hottest star. That would be Rigel, obviously named after Dominar Rigel the 16th. There's an inhabitable planet orbiting it.
Great goddesses, look! A giant dollhouse.
It must be 300 feet high.
That sounded like a baby.
Coin-operated boy.
Not exactly, but it is a wind-up baby doll with less than playful intentions.
Put me down, you oversized mechanical infant.
Instead of talking, do something. It's mechanical. One good zap into its gears and it's out of commission. I do get tired of asking, why do I seem to be the only one who thinks of these things? Now fly around and do that to his wind-up key mechanism and you're out of this mess.
Hurry, we can hide in the house.
This place is too big. There's nowhere to hide.
You're joking. There's a good spot behind you under that refrigerator. In a place this big, there are dozens of places to hide. Our brilliant heroes won't find any of them.
Great lightning.
It's a giant mechanical cat.
Quick, up those stairs.
The gravity is too strong for them to fly, except when one of them is escaping from a giant baby bottle and needs to land softly.
Great Hera, the cat's spring ran down.
That's right, Super Mice. But you're not out of this yet. This black hole is closing up, and only I know the way out. In a few hours, this planet and the three of you will be sealed into a black oblivion forever!
It's a lot more frightening without the helium, dude. How does a black hole close up? Best we can tell, it doesn't. But in 1978, we didn't necessarily know that. Most regular people who knew anything about black holes learned the bulk of it from Stephen Hawking's book, A Brief History of Time, and Mr. Hawking wouldn't publish that for another 10 years. In the interim, we knew they existed, and Hollywood was free to make all the educated guesses, uneducated guesses, and scientific wild-ass guesses they wanted. Nobody could tell them they were wrong. Yet. The other Super Friends are on a planet orbiting Orion's hottest star. No, I don't know why they don't just call it by name. So far, they're finding zilch. The planet appears to be one big jungle.
Perhaps I can help you.
Who are you?
I am Empress Zena. I know all that happens on my planet.
We're looking for a clue to the whereabouts of our friends.
I'm sure my girls can help you. Jana, Stanazi, Barengo.
This is a planet of misanthropes, which is to say, they hate men and know the perfect thing to do with any man who crosses their path.
The sleeping pollen will keep them unconscious for hours. We'll have plenty of time to petrify these beautiful male specimens and add them to our stone menagerie.
She likes looking at men, but not interacting with them. Somehow that makes perfect sense.
Whatever these weird Amazon women have done, it's turning the rest of the Super Friends into stone. But the atoms in my body are too fluid to solidify. I'll speed up the atomic motion in the others and get us out of here.
What's happening?
Sorry to spoil your plans, Empress, but we've got better things to do than stand around like stiffs.
I was that close. I touched it.
Great Scott! I think we found our next clue.
You've done well so far, Super Friends. So here's your final clue. Follow your noses and you'll hit the mark. But even when you find them, you'll wind up in the dark.
Right then they spot the black hole. There aren't many places darker than that. Let's go. While they're away, the Legion of Doom is carrying out their actual caper.
Attention, citizens of the world. We have captured your super friends. And if you you ever want to see them again, send all of the money from your national treasuries to the World International Airport, care of the Legion of Doom.
Soon all of the wealth of the world will be coming addressed to us. And it won't be play money.
Remember what I said about Toyman and the stuff he can afford? They all can. The Riddler built his own communications satellite near Orion's belt. They have plenty of money. What do they need it all for? What do they want to buy that they can't already afford 100 times over? The culmination of their grand plan to get rid of the Super Friends and pull off the caper of the century?
In the end, you're just a bank robber. Nothing more than a common thief.
They decide that only Superman and Green Lantern have the power to go in there and get out again. The others will have to wait.
It looks like the Toyman left us no way out.
Maybe not, Wonder Woman. Look! It's Green Lantern and Superman.
There's no time to lose, Superman. This black hole is closing up fast.
But how can we get out? There's no time to find the Toyman's escape route.
We've only got one chance of escape. It's dangerous, and it's never been tried before.
With the help of my power rings, Superman and I will combine our strength. Stand back.
Is this a Crystal Gems type fusion?
Wait 3 seconds, then follow as quickly as you can.
Let's go.
Look! Here they come!
Whatever it was, it got them out of there. With the team back at full strength, let's go take care of the Legion of Doom.
Excellent. The money is coming in by the jetload.
You're clear for approach Flight 17, provided you have at least $10 million.
We are so wealthy, I can afford to stuff myself with money instead of straw.
As if he couldn't before. Again, none of them needs more money. For too many people, amassing money is nothing but a way to keep score. The higher your score, the more worthwhile your existence is. What a sorry way to live. You can never be satisfied with what you have, so you're perennially unhappy. No thanks. I don't have time to do that to myself.
What are those strange blips?
I count 11. The Super Friends.
That's right, Luthor. And we're here to collect some taxes on your sudden income.
It's Black Vulcan and Wonder Woman. I'll fix them.
It's time to give the Riddler and Scarecrow the shock of their lives.
They just don't make them like they used to. But my question is still, he couldn't do that to the mechanical creatures on that other planet because... A related question. How's that airport supposed to function when Superman is carrying the control tower all over the place?
Well, we finally put an end to their evil game.
And it looks like we are the winners.
That's what you think, Superman. You forgot about my cloaking device that I used to make the Earth disappear.
They vanished.
No, they're cloaked. Big difference, because when they're cloaked, they're just hidden. They won't go anywhere until they're sure you brilliant detectives assume they already did. It is indeed a good thing that the Super Friends are too slow to realize that. The Legion escapes this time because we have a whole season to go and lots more stuff to do with them. We can't do any of it if they're in prison. Putting the instantaneous travel aside for the moment, I did appreciate the way we tried to stay within the bounds of a little science, especially about the black hole. We now know that Rigel in the constellation Orion does have planets orbiting it, so that was a bit ahead of its time. We have two very different series going on here, one with a team that includes Zan, Jaina, and Gleek, and one that is pure battle against the Legion of Doom. The kids aren't ready for that, I guess. By the end of the episode, I was wondering where the Wonder Twins were, but I kept quiet because asking it that way sounded kind of redundant. When it was all over, the Super Friends went back to the planet of man statues with Wonder Woman and tried to talk some sense into the Queen. When Wonder Woman saw their society, she elected to join them and help make her pals into statues. I bet Superman won't turn down her marriage proposals now. Landing on a planet in the 20th century, early 20th, get the inflection right. Grand Canyon many times, and I visited regular people who knew anything about